Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a video discussing the end, the finale, the conclusion of the Dragon Ball Heroes game, the arcade game. This game is currently in its 13th year of service, which is a very, very long time, even for not even for arcade, especially for an arcade game. To be going for 13 years is really, really long. Of course, the game has evolved a ton since it first dropped back in 2011. I guess they just felt that even though the game has been successful, I think they probably just felt that they had designed themselves out of anything really that they could do to improve the game dramatically moving forward. And they probably just felt it was better just to go ahead and release a brand new title, which of course is going to be Dragon Ball Super Divers. It's going to be the successor to Dragon Ball Heroes. Now, to be completely fair, before we jump into the discussion here, we do have some gameplay of Dragon Ball Super Divers out right now. We already know what some of the effects in the game are going to be. We know what the cards are going to look like. We know what some of the stats are going to look like. And it really does seem almost the same as Dragon Ball Heroes. I'm assuming there's going to be some battle system differences and probably some other major differences as well. Once the game actually comes out, we'll be able to see what the major differences are. But in terms of the basics and the structure and just the overall functionality of the game itself, it does seem to be just a update of Dragon Ball Heroes as opposed to a completely different game. So again, I'm not like, super upset, like, oh my god, we're never going to see Heroes again, because I'm just looking at Super Divers as kind of just a modern version of Dragon Ball Heroes. So yes, it is still sad that Heroes is finally coming to an end after 13 years of operation. It's a long time. That's probably the same age or older than some people watching this video. But again, after doing this for so many years, they probably just felt that it was time to give a massive update to the game, and I guess they felt that it was better just to release a brand new title as opposed to just continue updating the same game. So the final mission just came out a few days ago. I did go to the arcade and I did my final pulls on the final mission, and I have so many videos to do still on this, and they are still going to come out. I have if I had to estimate how many videos I have, card videos of this game to put, it would probably be 30 plus videos that I have to edit and upload and still record that I have in the stock in the back room, I guess. Those will be coming out. I don't know exactly when, hopefully soon. But yeah, a lot of requests to do this, and I am working on it. But it just felt kind of bittersweet to do the final pulls. So for me, my history with this game, the first time I played Heroes at the arcade was back during the Galaxy Mission series, which was like 2012, 2013, something like that. Obviously, I didn't live in Japan, so it wasn't something that I could do consistently, but I remember playing for the first time during the Galaxy Mission series. And the time when I played the game the most was during... No, actually, when was the Galaxy... Was that during Galaxy Mission might have been like 2014, actually. Because that was the second ever like major mission. It goes regular Heroes, which was like an unnamed series. It was just like the first iteration of the game. And then it goes from that into the Galaxy Mission, into the Shadow Dragon missions. So I started playing in the Galaxy Mission series. Again, didn't play that often. The time when I played the most was during the God Mission series, which I believe was in 2016. I played very frequently during the God Mission series, which was about 8 years ago or so. Recently, I haven't really been playing the game as much as I've been just collecting the cards. At this point, I am super, super far behind on everything that I just felt like it was probably better just to not even try and get caught up, which I guess could also factor into their decision to go ahead and make just a brand new game. It's much harder for newer players to get into and accustomed to a game that's 13 years old. But I do have a very long history playing the Dragon Ball Heroes arcade game. So again, it is kind of just... I don't know. It's not upsetting, but it's just sad. It's just sad to see this game go away. And I'm going to be pretty excited to test out Super Divers. I do definitely want to at least do some content on Super Divers as well. Going to the arcade with my tripod and trying to record some stuff could be interesting, so maybe we'll try and do that. We'll obviously do videos on some card stuff as well with that. But I just wanted to quickly go through some of the other stuff here that they talked about. So this is obviously the last mission that they're going to implement before the move into Dragon Ball Super Divers, which is why they have like multiple posts on the official website about this. So there are some cards in this final set that actually are usable in Super Divers. So we can see some of the effects these cards have. So this is the effect for Dragon Ball Heroes up here. And then the effect on the bottom is the effect that the card will have in Divers. And if I zoom in a little bit, it might be a little bit hard to see because it'll become blurry here, but you can actually see the Dragon Ball Super Divers logo over here, which would indicate that this effect down here is for Super Divers. This is actually, this Shenron card, I did not actually pull this, spoiler alert. This is the card that most people are trying to go for in this set. So this set has 4 secret rares, and then this is the extra secret rare. This is technically the 5th secret rare. This is the L SEC or the last SEC, because this is technically the actual final secret rare ever released in Heroes. This is going to be the Shenron right here. But I think the pull rate for this guy is a little bit lower than all the other secret rares. Then we have this, which is a UR. I'll go through the card list in a second just to show you guys what they look like, because I think they did a good job choosing the URs and the secret rares for this final set here. This is another card that you can use in Super Divers, this bottom portion here. And I can even show what I was talking about earlier. So in Dragon Ball Heroes, you have 3 stats. You have HP, Power, and Guard. And in Super Divers, you have HP, Power, and Guard. So very similar stat spread there. In Dragon Ball Heroes, you need Hero Energy to launch a super attack. It says the amount of Hero Energy that you need to launch the super attack over here. In Heroes, it's 4. Super Divers, it says you need Hero Energy. So this card needs 9 Hero Energy to launch its Kamehameha super attack in Divers. It needs 4 energy to release its super attack in Dragon Ball Heroes. So it does seem like there are very similar mechanics between the 2 games, which again tells me and indicates to me that I don't really think there's going to be like a massive difference. It's not like we're going from like Dokkan to Legends or something. This is, to me, more so something that's almost the same game, but just an upgraded version of itself. And yeah, here's the passive here. Again, a lot of the wording in the passive is similar to what we would see in Dragon Ball Heroes passives as well. So again, very similar here. And then we have this Kid Goku. This is actually one of the secret rares, and I'll go through some of the secret rares again later on. But again, another character that can use a passive in Super Divers. So a lot of these cards, I guess they're releasing in the final set of Heroes to entice people that pull them. Hey, you know, you can get a head start in Super Divers with these cards if you got them. So that's pretty cool, I think. Okay, so let's go over and jump to the actual card list here. I'm only going to be showing the 4 stars because those are the ones that really matter here. So the way that they did this is these are all the URs of the set. There are technically 10 UR cards here, and the reason why they did 10 URs is because there are 10 missions in this game. So if we just go through all the different missions, so we have this one, of course, which is the normal mission. There's no title with this. This is the first. It's just called DBH, Dragon Ball Heroes. So this is the first ever mission. To represent this, they have the Super Saiyan Beat and Goku, and then they have just the Super Saiyan characters in the background. The next mission is the Galaxy mission. This is where they sort of started to introduce GT into the mix here. So we got Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and then we have some Super Saiyan 3s in the back. This is where they really started to, I guess, lean heavily into the what-if scenarios with like Super Saiyan 3 Trunks and stuff like that. So this is the Galaxy mission. Then we have the Shadow Dragon mission over here. I mean, it's just more GT stuff. So I guess they like started to do GT stuff with the Galaxy mission stuff, and they were like, okay, well, GT Super Saiyan 4 seems to be pretty popular, so let's start releasing stuff like Super Saiyan 4 Broly, right? And then that's where this mission leaned into. Then we have the God mission series. This is where I played the most, actually. This mission started to incorporate a lot of the Dragon Ball Super stuff that we started to see, like Beerus, God Goku. Of course, the Avatar cards also were able to gain Super Saiyan God here. Then they also started doing stuff with like the Masked Saiyan, There's Mira, Toa in the background. There's Demigra in the background. So more so of some Dragon Ball Heroes original stuff, which is not so much as like forms. Like back in the Galaxy Mission, they started doing like Super Saiyan 3 Trunks and Vegeta. This is like original characters too. They started to do like Mass Saiyan is not a thing that appears. I mean, I guess technically, wasn't he like Dragon Ball Online with like Mira and Toa maybe? But yeah, this is where they started to do some original stuff. Next, we have the Super Dragon Ball Heroes. This is so this game actually went through 2 iterations. Technically, we had just normal Dragon Ball Heroes, which were these first 4 missions: the regular mission, Galaxy Mission, the Shadow Dragon Mission, and then the God Mission. After the God Mission, they essentially they overhauled the entire game, and the game went from you only being to use 5 cards in a single match to being able to use 7. They introduced a new type of character, this special type of character. A lot of the rules in the matches actually changed. So that was the biggest overhaul the game had ever seen. And when they announced Dragon Ball Super Divers, people were thinking they were going to do another sort of like overhaul of the game, like they did going from God Mission to the Super Dragon Ball Heroes mission. But instead of doing that, they just decided to make a whole new game, which honestly, again, doesn't really feel like it is a whole new game. It kind of does just feel like a transition from God Mission to Super Dragon Ball Heroes, but maybe a little bit bigger than that. But Super Dragon Ball Heroes, I remember they released like this is like Fusion Zamasu. This is when like the Goku Black arc was going on in Dragon Ball Super. So that's really what this was over here. The next one we have is the Universe Mission. Yeah, it says Gogeta. Yeah, this is the Universe Mission here. A lot of you guys probably know this from the anime series. This is, of course, Gogeta versus Hearts. Hearts being a completely original Dragon Ball Heroes character. Same thing with like Cumber and like Lags in the background here. Then, of course, we have Fu, which is another character I think borrowed from Dragon Ball Online. So, again, more of them leaning into a lot of the Dragon Ball Heroes original stuff for this one. And then the next card is actually the same thing. It's also the Universe Mission series. The Universe Mission series kind of had like 2 parallel storylines running at the same time. We had like the Blue Gogeta version, and then we had the Super Saiyan 4 Vegito version, which is more so on the side of like Mechikabura is like the enemy, and Demigra's also in here. We have God Trunks. So these are actually both the same set, but there are 2 cards for this one, because I think probably Universe Mission is probably the biggest set, I think, actually. Next, we have the Big Bang Mission. If you guys remember, like the Universal Tree Goku is kind of like the representative here. We have the kid version of Fu in the background. We have the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta. We have the Berserk controlled Vegeta. We have the Hearts over here. So, I mean, that's sort of what this one is. Next, we have the Ultra God Mission. I'm going to be honest, I don't really recall too much of what happens in the Ultra God Mission here, but we have was Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta here. We have Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Broly. We have UI Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Bardock, and then we have like this future this type of it's not, I don't think his name's actually Future Gohan. It's like something dark. I don't remember his name, but they do like the family comment, how they reenact that scene. And then of course the final mission, which we're on right now, is the Meteor Mission, which Ozoto is like the main boss of. So that's what we're on. This is the finale. I mean, I guess Meteor Mission technically is the shortest one because it is only 6 sets of cards, which is typically, I think it goes to like 10 plus. So yeah, 6 is pretty short. And then the secret rare cards, we actually do have 4 secret rares. And what they did with these secret rares is they went through and represented all 4 of the main Dragon Ball series. So we have, of course, just OG Dragon Ball with Kid Goku. This is the card that we can get a better visual of right here. Actually, this is probably my favorite one of the cards that they've released for secret rares in the set. We have all the different Dragon Balls. We have Shenron in the background, and then we have like some representatives of each I don't know if I want to say saga. It's just allies of Goku, right? We have Yamcha, Puar, Bulma, and Oolong here. Krillin, Tien and Chaozu, Roshi, and then, well, I guess Ma Jr. is in the back. It's not an ally, but Ma Jr. is in the back there. So representatives of Dragon Ball everywhere in this card. Then we have the Z representation here. This is Goku, obviously, in the middle. We have Majin Buu, Cell, and Frieza in the back. I'm kind of surprised they didn't try and implement like Grade 8 Vegeta or just like Saiyan Saga Vegeta somewhere in here. Typically when they're talking about like the big villain characters of Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta is included in the discussion with these 3, but They went with Goku, Cell, Buu, and Frieza here. And then the ultimate unit effect does have Vegeta and Piccolo here too. So then we have GT. They actually decided to go with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as like sort of the representative for this. I kind of thought it would have been Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but they went with Gogeta because, well, it's Gogeta. And then in the back, they have Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, and then they do have some of the villains, Baby, Super 17, and Omega. So most of GT here is represented, and then the final one is Super. By the way, they have the dramatic art card of the Gogeta with him doing the confetti. I guess that's to symbolize sort of like the conclusion of the game almost. Dragon Ball Super version is just UI Goku. And then we have all like the boss characters in the background. We have Zamasu, Fusion Zamasu, Beerus, Hit, Jiren, and Golden Frieza. Yeah, I'd say this is pretty accurate for Super. I mean, they could have put stuff like Trunks in here. Maybe Evolution Blue Vegeta could have made an appearance here, stuff like that. But I think this is pretty fair. And then what they did is, and then they have Shenron, which I talked about briefly already. What they did is they released these, I think they call this like the Legend Collection of cards here. So typically what they do in Heroes is they release a campaign set of cards, which are not that rare or hard to get. Let me see if I can actually pull up like a different set here, and I could give an example of what a campaign is. So if I go over to campaign, I guess there's no campaign during this one. So for example, they would have like these thematic cards here. So this is like the, I don't even know what you would call this, but like this is the Super Saiyan campaign, and this is, I don't know, like Defenders of the Future campaign. And these types of cards would, you know, be exclusive to the set that they're in. So if we go back over here, this final set actually does not have any, like if we click on the campaign here, there's actually nothing that would come up because there is no campaign cards here. So instead of doing campaign cards, they decided to do the Legend Collection. And these are cards that are already in existence. Like these are kind of just reprints of those cards. What they've done is they've taken like the most, I guess, used secret rares over the course of the game. Well, not the entire game, but like I'd say sort of like modern times, because some of these aren't that old. Like this God Goku is really not that old. Ultra God Mission 10 is not that long ago. It's like 7 sets ago or something. Super Vegito and Gotenks, you know, Ultra God Mission 9. These guys are 8. So I guess it is sort of like going back a little bit through recent times. Ultra God Mission 1. And then once we go all the way back over to this guy is fairly old. Super Dragon Ball Heroes 1 is pretty old. This is like right after the game was updated for the first time. But they've reprinted all like the most popular and most used secret rares, I guess, since Super Dragon Ball Heroes 1. And have made them into like some like alternate art. Like the background is white and the characters are like sort of like rainbow color. It's kind of hard to see on the PC here, but like the actual cards, the characters themselves are like rainbow, and the background is like some sort of like silverish white. So they've reprinted all these cards here to look very, very different than their initial card arts did. But that's sort of how they've concluded the game here with this final set, Meteor Mission 6. They wanted to give representation to every single set that the game has released, and then they gave representation to all of the Dragon Ball series that exist, and then the final secret rare being Shenron, and then re-releasing all the most popular secret rare cards that people basically have used the most throughout the game since Super Dragon Ball Heroes 1 came out. So yeah, that's a pretty good way, I think, of concluding things. And these are kind of just, I'm not going to go through these. These are just messages that they put out regarding the end of the game and taking, you know, I guess getting accustomed to Dragon Ball Super Divers and making the transition from Heroes into Super Divers easier. Here's like a short video. I think we watched this earlier on the channel. Here's like another announcement here. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here that we could go through, but I'm probably just going to leave it at this. You guys can let me know. I'm assuming most of you guys haven't actually played the arcade game, but even like World Mission, which was a game on the Switch, I think was most people's one and only experience with Dragon Ball Heroes, at least most people watching this video, I would assume. But yeah, this game, I've played this game, again, pretty much 10 plus years now. Not consistently, but it is kind of it is kind of bittersweet to see it go, but I am excited to see what Dragon Ball Super Divers brings. And again, content will happen for that game. Still have a lot of stuff to record for Heroes in terms of the card videos. I know you guys want those, and I'm working on it. But let me know what you think of the end of Super Dragon Ball Heroes, a game that was in service for almost 14 years, right? This November would have been its 14th anniversary, and I guess sort of at the same time as their 14th anniversary, they are going to be transitioning into Super Divers. So I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be hopeful for Super Divers, and I have faith that they will be able to give us a really good experience with that game. Dragon Ball Heroes sort of being an extension of that game. That's how I would sort of think of Super Divers, as just an extension of Heroes and an updated, modernized version of the game. So hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next one.